Hi, I'm Shirley Jones, and this is Gemma Wenger's Hollywood.
Academy Award nominee for The Godfather, so that's probably what you're best known for.
Boy, I'm pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, and 4-time Golden Globe Award nominee.
Yeah, I never win anything. It's just like getting awards and no jobs. I'd rather get a job. They're going to give me a piece of glass.
I
can't eat
You eat
glass.
regular
Oh,
that way.
nice.
God bless. Thank you.
God bless you. You take care.
How about a kiss goodbye? Adios.
Hello, I'm Martin Landau.
Hi, I'm Florence Henderson, and you're watching Gemma Wenger's Hollywood.
I'm Gemma Wenger, and you're watching Gemma Wenger's Hollywood. We're here at the Museum of Tolerance for the world premiere of Bau, Artist at War, which is a story of miracles that occurred during the Holocaust. And it's a love story where two people met in the most difficult of situations, and their heart was to help and to lead people to their freedom. So I'm really excited about this movie, and I'm really excited about all the people that we're going to meet. I'm Sean McNamara, the director and producer of Bau, Artist at War. And how is this movie different from all the other movies that you produced and directed?
Well, I love making inspirational films about real people, and so it's like that. But this is a true love story that happened in Plaszow concentration camp 1944. So I've never made anything like that. People in such a terrible position, and yet they found each other and fell in love. And I just truly believe miracles happen.
How have you grown through making this movie?
I've grown by leaps and bounds. You know, you start a film, you think you're telling a tale of something that happened 80 years ago, and then when October 7th hit, you realize, oh my gosh, this is more important than just that. It is still possible that anti-Semitism is going to take over, and it's horrible, and we need to make films like this. And people need to go to see them in the theaters so that people start to recognize that they're here.
You have a history of making really good films. Is that your goal? Is that your desire to really elevate and uplift people?
You know, it's funny. I was joking with somebody. I want to be the Quentin Tarantino of faith-based films, and it doesn't matter what faith. If it's Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, I want to tell true stories about the entire world because we're all here together, and we got to figure out a way to live together.
Emile Hirsch with me, and you were incredible.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You carried the whole thing. You just made it happen.
Sounds good to me. I don't know. Let's just wrap this up now.
How did you come up with the character? I mean, there was so much humor, but there was very much a serious side to you.
Well, I when I was a kid, before I ever wanted to be an actor, I actually wanted to be a cartoonist. So, and a humorous cartoonist. Like, remember The Far Side and Calvin and Hobbes? Those were, that was really what I was totally focused on and into as a kid. So, and that's a lot of joke writing. So, as a kid, even as a kid, I was sort of into writing jokes. So when I read this script, I was like, he's a cartoonist who makes jokes and makes flip books. I made flip books when I was a kid too. Not as good as Joseph's. So there was an affinity for the role that it just fit like a glove for me. And that was sort of the way in for me was the sense of humor, because I felt like I knew the guy, because I know how I am about trying to have a sense of humor at times, or at least attempting to, and him and Joseph as well. And I could see how it just all made sense when we really got the sense of humor and that light touch, because he was a guy that people liked being around. People liked, and he was fun and funny. By all accounts, he was hilarious, and also, the kind of wild sense of humor.
What about the message of the film?
I think the idea that even in the darkest of times, you can find light and love is beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's a true story. It really happened. That's something that is inspiring, and the awfulness of what they experienced, none of us can really actually totally ever get. Unless you were there, I don't think there's any way to get how terrible that really was. But hopefully through this story we can show that light side and the love that kind of came through despite the darkness.
Did you have any input between the humor and the seriousness, or how to play that, or working with Sean as the director in that area?
The producers and the writer and the director, Sean McNamara, who's fantastic, they were all very collaborative with me, and they wanted, especially the jokes and the humor, they really wanted it to feel authentic. For stuff that I thought was funny. They were like, okay, if you think it's funny, we want you to approve of the jokes and the humor. So that was probably one of the most specific things that we really worked on, was getting the exact jokes right and honing and refining the jokes and that sensibility and that sense of humor. From pretty much every single scene, we really focused on that.
How did you go from wanting to be kind of an artist to being an actor?
Well, I would say, I think I always loved movies, and I think being an actor, being a working actor, this is when I was just a kid, mind you, it seemed like more tangible. And drawing and cartoon working, it was like, my drawing was good, but it wasn't like, oh my God,
Picasso,
you're going to be Bill Watterson or whoever, Stan Lee. It wasn't like that. So I think I just went for the easier path. I was like, you know what? Ditch these pencils and,
I have Tual, and he's actually the star of the movie Bau, Artist at War. He plays Franz Gruen, and I heard from Sean that because you weren't the right nationality, you weren't Canadian, that they weren't going to let you have this part, but because you were so amazing, they were going to pay whatever it cost to get you to do this.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm French, so I'm not even German, and we shot in Canada, so the whole the whole visa and paper stuff, it's always like a bit of a hustle, but yeah, we made it happen, so I'm happy.
Now, honestly, the depth of your acting is unbelievable. I mean, how did you create this character?
I always try to fight the sense of like a stereotype. I try to find what's complex about a character, and we're all very complex, and we're all able of doing good and evil, so I guess that's how I like to approach my characters, Well,
that character was very complex.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, I could just see it on the screen. There were a lot of layers and a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and often, the people who are doing the most wrong, they're also wounded people, and so yeah, that's what interested me, in approaching the character in this way.
That is key, that wounded. That's what I saw. You were just really powerful in it. What was your favorite part of the movie?
All of the scenes with Emile, Emile Hirsch, of course. He's such a great sport, such a great actor to be working with. And also the trial scene, I have to say, because of the audience. And yeah, that was great. That was pretty powerful to play, yeah. So.
When you see it, you're going to be like, wow, I'm really spectacular. Wow, look at me.
No, I doubt it. But I'm very much looking forward to see.
And then the tear. There was the part where you cried. That was so emotional.
Oh yeah, that was we shot that 2 years ago, so it's far in my memory. But yeah, now that you mention it, yeah.
Anyway, you're very, very talented. How did you get into acting?
I was invited to study at the Cleveland Playhouse MFA acting program, the Case Western Reserve University MFA acting program, and I got a full ride, and that changed my life, and here I am.
So you are one of the actors in Bau, Artist at War. Tell us about your part.
I play a character named Yitzhak Stern, who was Schindler's accountant and responsible for actually compiling Schindler's List that we all know of. Ben Kingsley played the role in Schindler's List. So it was big boots to fill, very nerve-wracking, but it was great. It was a really amazing experience, and an incredible person who lived and was known as a real mensch.
What was the hardest part of playing that role?
Well, I mean, look, the subject matter is so incredibly powerful and dark, and trying to maintain a sense of a small bit of light of humanity amidst this terrible dark period in our history was important. And it was every day was a challenge, but a challenge that I relished.
And how did you get into acting?
It's funny. It's something that when I do it, I don't feel any pain, any discomfort. If I have a headache, if I'm nauseated, if I'm tired, and then I get on stage or get in front of a camera, it all disappears. So it's like a natural healer.
You're a born actor.
I guess I am.
And you filmed it in Poland, is that correct?
No,
or Canada?
Yes,
Canada.
We filmed it in Vancouver for Poland. Who knew? Just as dark and dreary in the winter.
Was it pretty dark and dreary?
Yeah, it was. We were there in February and March. One of the days, actually, in the film, there is a big snowstorm that Emile is trudging through in the movie, and that was just the result of a blizzard that came, and we had to deal with the elements as they came at us, and I think we did that. I think Sean and Emile did it incredibly.
Yeah, Sean's amazing. So is Emile. Yeah, the movie's fabulous. I love it. Talk about the message of the film.
Trying to maintain love and humanity in a dark time. Sadly, we're in a time now where most Holocaust survivors are passing on. There aren't many. I'm lucky enough. My grandmother, she's still alive. She's 99. And she tells me about those times, and it's heartbreaking to hear. And yet these stories need to be shared. And we're sadly also people are both not believing it happened or not learning about it. And stories like this are important to share that.
How did your grandma escape the Holocaust?
So she was in Ukraine at the time.
Ukraine, a lot's going on in Ukraine.
Lots going on in Ukraine, yeah. And the Soviet government at the time was evacuating people deep into Eastern Soviet Union, into Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. And so they literally, the people that weren't, my grandfather was fighting in the army against the Nazis, and my grandmother was evacuated to the deep east. She wasn't in the camps. Luckily, the story was that what happened was they had warned them that the Nazis were coming, and most of the people in her community and her family didn't believe that this was happening. And so they were like, it'll be fine, it'll pass. And her immediate family decided to evacuate, and everybody that stayed, everybody died. So her entire basically extended family, they all passed away. And her father fought in the army and disappeared, and she never saw him again. And her whole life she always hoped and wondered if one day she would see her father, and never with any news of what happened to him, where he disappeared to. And heartbreaking, and just one of many stories of human tragedy and perseverance.
And the Jewish people really have persevered through so much, and they have come out victorious. They have come out on top, and they are a strong people. Even due to the struggle, it's made them stronger.
Yeah, and
okay.
And given us a sense of humor to laugh about it. And that's another thing of this movie. It's very funny, and a lot of that is thanks to Emile. He's hilarious, and it's when you're dealing with such difficult subject matter, to have moments of levity, is critical, both as humans and as Jews.
I have Ryn Kid, and she co-wrote the theme song for Bau, Artists at War.
Correct, yeah, and I sang on it too. It was truly...
It's beautiful, it's beautiful. How did the writing come about?
Yeah, I was super inspired, honestly. I was lucky enough to get an early cut of the film, and when I was watching it, there's this one scene which Joseph is speaking to Rebecca and says, "However long forever is, will you spend it with me?" And instantly, it was like a light bulb went off. I'm like, that's the song, because it perfectly encapsulated everything about them. You know, how they didn't know what day was going to be their last, and that they were appreciating every moment that they had with one another. And it was important to me, too, that this song not only spoke to the film, but also to the masses, you know, the people that, you know, experienced love in any way. So, yeah, I got into the session with Andrew Furs, who's my co-writer and producer on the song, and in 4 hours, the song was finished. It really felt like it wrote itself. It was a very divine download kind of situation.
That's beautiful. How did you start out in singing and writing and composing?
Yeah, it kind of happened naturally. I started singing when I was about 13, and then when I was 15, I figured out how to write songs, and that was really the fuel in my fire. And once I started writing music, I was like, oh, this is what I'm meant to do. It just felt very right for me. And since then, I've just been crazy going at it and sacrificing everything for it, but I love it. Yeah.
What would you say to up-and-coming artists?
Keep your head up. Stay inspired. Follow the inspiration. Don't get too bogged down with the to-do list, because there's always going to be more that you can be doing. And yeah, if you can be your truest, most creative self, I really, truly feel like there's a way through.
What was it like growing up with your mother and father and the impact they had on the world?
Unbelievable.
Miracles.
They were always happy. Believe it or not, even inside the concentration camp. And our father told jokes all the time. And he lifted the spirits of all the people. And our parents were talking about the Holocaust every day in times when people didn't. And when they were told, why are you talking about the Holocaust? If we won't talk, what will happen in 50 years when there will be Holocaust deniers? It's our duty to tell.
Miracle every minute, and they believed in miracles, and this really happened to them. All the family of our father was murdered. All the family of our mom was murdered. Only one half brother was alive. And our father created every day jokes. And he came home, and we waited for the new joke, and all we were laughing. Let's all of us, we laugh. 1, 2, 3. This is our mom laughter. She laughed to laugh all the time.
They were working on the script many, many years, and they couldn't understand how to put our father's humor. And Deborah Smerecnik, who produced the movie, in the end, she wrote the script, and it's exactly as our father was.
And our mom. Our father was Superman, our mom Superwoman. Unbelievable, all their life. They helped everyone. When Clela was 4, he taught her, guess what? To tell jokes, to make everyone laughing. And when I was 6, our father taught me to write words and music. And I said, I don't know to write, the first class, I don't know to read. It's not important, only make people laughing.
Now, there was a part where your father wanted your mother to live and your mother wanted your father to live, and they actually laid down their lives for each other.
And not only for each other. They saved hundreds of Jews, our father in his own way, our mom in her own way. He didn't know that she was saving, and she didn't know that he was saving. And actually, our mom saved our father.
Our father saved hundreds of Jews, you know how? With art, not with weapon, with art. He told jokes. He even wrote jokes in the Holocaust. And he did when people wanted to make suicide. Guess what he did? A special cards. We have the cards here? Yeah, we will show you. Special card to save people's life.
That's powerful. Now, you have a museum. Tell us about it.
Joseph Bau Museum in Tel Aviv. It used to be our father's studio. He was the first animator in Israel, one of the first graphic artists. He researched the Hebrew language. It's a very, very special museum. And I must say that unfortunately the building where the museum is today is slated for demolition, and we have to leave. And right now we even start a crowdfunding, and we will be very happy when people will help us. And I can give the link. So it's causematch.com/Joseph Bau Museum, or our website, www.josephbau.com.
Are you just ever incredulous that both your mother and your father made it out of the Holocaust?
Many times our father said, tell me I am alive. How I am alive? And our mom the same. They believed in miracles. Many times our parents wake up in the morning and our father said to our mom, Mommy, who win Hitler and all the army and all the tanks and all his what he had against Jews? Our mom jumped from the bed, with love, kisses, happiness. So they began and they were laughing. This was the beginning of the day.
Beautiful. Any last words you'd like to say to our audience?
That everyone should go and see this unique, special movie. People laugh, people cry, and they fall in love.
So I play Dita in the movie. She's Rebecca's best friend and sort of the go-between between Joseph and Rebecca. She's actually loosely based on the real-life Rebecca Bau's best friend in the Plaszow concentration camp. Her name's Clela Mendel. We use a different name, just for familial purposes. But yeah, that's my role in the film, and I honestly think that this movie is coming out at the perfect time because there's a lot of hate and division in our world right now, and it's a story of love conquering all. So I think this film is exactly what we need right now, and I can't wait for the world to see it.
What was your favorite part of being in the movie?
Well, honestly, it gave me such perspective on what it was like to actually be in one of the camps in the Holocaust. Like, we were filming in Vancouver in the middle of winter, especially the scenes in the barracks. We were on wooden slats 12 hours a day, so we really got to see how uncomfortable it was, but we had these warm jackets brought in to make us warm in between shots, and we had these creature comforts that we knew that the people in the actual camps didn't. So it gave us a little bit of perspective, and it gave me just more respect, but it was still very different. So that was kind of my favorite part, is getting perspective that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
I have Deborah Smerecnik, and she is the one who 16 years ago got the ball rolling. Tell us the story.
Well, I met the daughters in Israel when they were giving a presentation up in Jerusalem, and I was so enamored by their story. I said, this has to be a movie. And they have been praying for someone to make it into a movie. So I felt very convicted, like if I'm going to promise, I got to follow this through, having no idea it was going to take 16 years. So I'm very grateful that we finally got it done, and it was such a pleasure working with them and hearing about their parents' lives that encouraged so much and so many of us.
How did you end up being the writer on this film?
Well, I did hire writers to begin with, but I was never quite satisfied with what I was reading. And so I thought, at this point, I could actually write it. And so I tried it, and it worked.
I just interviewed Clela and Hadasseh, and they said they didn't like anything either except when you came along and when you wrote it. That when you took that pen to paper, it came out just right. But prior to that, they didn't hit the mark.
Yeah, well, and that could be because I've spent so much time with them, and I had such an understanding of what they wanted in the film, that obviously it becomes a lot easier to write when you know the personalities so well,
I'm really amazed at your discernment, at your ability to produce this script that just has a sense of the way it's supposed to be and the way it happened. When I was interviewing them, they just talked about the humor. There was so much humor in the family, so much laughter, so much love, and that's what you captured in the film.
Thank you. But I think what was really the most endearing part of this is the way Joseph and Rebecca could love each other sacrificially and be sacrificial about helping so many others in the camp. That kind of love is just unbelievable. You rarely see that. And so to me, even though the humor was important and he was a funny guy, the other part of being able to love so sacrificially meant a lot to me.
I have Kevin Smerecnik, and he is the son of Deborah Smerecnik, who is the screenwriter as well as the producer of the movie. Now, you played an important role in creating this movie as well.
I got to just do one thing. I got to be there as moral support for my mom over the 16 years or 15 plus years that she spent trying to make it, and I got to put one scene in the movie, and that was really fun. We got to come up with a couple scenes about Joseph Bau and his flip book. That's part of the book, Dear God, Have You Ever Gone Hungry? You can read more about it in there. But there's a scene where we wanted to come up with a funny scene where he makes a flip book animation. And so I came up with the idea that you'll see in the movie of one of the soldiers getting an unwanted gift from a bird from above.
I remember that part. That was very funny, very cute.
So that was just a fun little thing that I got to, like one little trinket that I got to be in there.
So it started 16 years ago.
Right. Yeah, 16 years ago. My mom went to Israel and she heard the daughters telling the story of their parents, Joseph and Rebecca Bau. And she said, why isn't this a movie? Why hasn't this been made a movie? It's in Schindler's List, but they need the movie of their own. And that was 15 and a little more years ago.
I have Jere Gooding and Francine Peron, and Jere is a minister of the gospel, and Francine is an artiste from France. What brings you here today?
Well, what brings me here today is the Bau Artist of War movie that we are going to be involved in. It is an incredible movie. I have already seen it. There is every emotion that you can imagine. You can cry, you can laugh. I mean, the emotion was so raw for me, knowing also that my father was in Auschwitz himself. So when I saw the movie, I could resonate with everything. But the most thing that I took away from the movie is the hope. The hope, if you have God in your life and you have hope, it is just so amazing that you can survive literally everything. So.
A story of hope and a story of God's salvation and protection in the worst of times, and a marriage which happened in the worst of situations. A very beautiful ending.
And how has your faith in God influenced you?
Oh, for me, faith is everything. If you don't have any faith, you just cannot continue the walk with the Lord. Faith is everything for me.
Mm-hmm. Hope and faith in God and trust in God, and everything turns out all right. And hopefully it will never happen again in the history of man.